Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam ma ba'd. It's very important for us all to realize that this life is temporary. That we only have this opportunity which is before us. No one knows that if they're going to live one more hour. And if you have prayed the last prayer of the day, are you going to make it to the Fajr prayer? You don't know. No one is guaranteed another minute of breath in this life. So it's absolutely imperative or very important for us to understand that this life is temporary and we have to use it in a positive way. We have to use this life for goodness and for leaving those things that will benefit us in the hereafter. Because if we buy lots of clothing, if we buy a nice car, if we have nice telephones and nice buildings and all the materialistic, all the items that we can accumulate in this life, none of it's going to benefit us. It's not going to benefit us if we do not use it for the hereafter, for the akhirah. And all of us will have our time that we're going to be laid in the grave. And how many instances have we seen a person who maybe had an injury or a sickness that didn't seem that serious, and then the next thing we hear within the week, sometimes overnight, we hear that that individual died. That's how this life is. This life, we're not guaranteed anything. And that's why we have to take a look at the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, إِذَا مَاتَ الْمَرْءِ انْقَطَعَ عَمَلُهُ إِلَّا مِنْ ثَلَاثٍ الصَّدَقَةُ جَارِيَةٌ وَالْعِلْمُ يُنْتَفَعُ بِهِ وَوَلَدٍ صَالِحٍ يَدْعُو لَهُ رواه Muslim. In this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ said that when a person dies, all of their deeds end except three. And he said the first one is the continuous charity. So that means maybe, for example, a person leaves behind wealth and that wealth is distributed, or they leave behind a lot of wealth. Maybe they build a school. Maybe they build a charity. Maybe they build a mosque. Maybe they build a place where people study Islam. So that even when the person is in their grave and even when the person has deceased over a long period of time, people are still benefiting and that person is still getting reward because they did something that people benefit from and come closer to Allah with those actions and those acts of worship, and that individual who left that charity will gain benefit and reward. And it doesn't take away from those people, nor does the fact that they are getting reward take away from his reward, his or her reward of leaving the charity. And then the Prophet ﷺ said in the other individual, he said, so a sadaqa jariyah al-ilm yantafa bi. So this shows us one of the most important things that we can do in Islam. This is a type of jihad. This is a type of struggle. This is a type of one of the greatest acts that you can do to come closer to Allah, and that is seeking beneficial knowledge. That means to know more about your religion, to know more about Islam, to know more about Allah, to strive on the path of talab al-ilm, because talab al-ilm, seeking knowledge, is not something you get from ease, from sleeping a lot. And it's not something you get from eating a lot, but it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice to increase your Islamic knowledge. That means you have to read a lot. That means you have to listen a lot to tapes and so forth. And that means you have to sit with the people of knowledge. Either if it's in your area and there's only students of knowledge, then you should be sitting in the durus or the lectures that they have. And if you are in a place where there are ulama, scholars of Islam, then you should be sitting under the beards of the scholars. You should be sitting at their feet and gaining the knowledge, the precious knowledge that they're giving to people, because al-ulama warath al-anbiya, that the scholars are the people of knowledge, the people who practice Islam, and they do it based on knowledge, and they are people who propagate knowledge. They give correct knowledge based on the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in accordance with the methodology of the Salaf as-Salih. Those people are the inheritors of the Prophets. So leaving behind beneficial knowledge, either by writing books, either by giving lectures, either by doing all the beneficial ways in which we can give knowledge and seek knowledge, then this is something that's going to benefit you when you're in the grave. And the last thing the Prophet ﷺ said in that hadith, he said, وَلَدٍ صَالِحٍ يَدْعُو لَهُ. Or another thing that you can do in order to benefit your soul after you die is that you leave behind righteous children. Meaning your children, you raise them on Islam. You raise them worshiping Allah alone and following the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then they supplicate for you while you're in your grave. When you die, your children are making dua for you. Your children are giving charity on your behalf. Your children are doing good deeds and praying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you forgiveness and have mercy upon you. This is the third thing that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised us and informed us, that those people are the people who are successful, and those are the only things that you can leave behind that will benefit you. So accumulating more goods, accumulating new computers, accumulating new phones, accumulating lots of clothing, and eating from every kind of food, and involving yourself in buying new cars and new indulging in this life, several houses and things you don't really need, that won't benefit you. It will not benefit you in the hereafter, because when you die, you will leave that house. When you die, you will leave that new car. Someone else will be driving your new car. Even your family, even your very wife, your wife, the one you married and you have love between you, that when you die, after a time, she will forget you. Or she will possibly need to remarry and be with someone else. Or your husband, for the wife, maybe the husband will die, and or vice versa, or the wife will die and the husband will remarry. So this shows us that this life is temporary, and we should do those things that will benefit us. And one of the greatest things we can do, along with the charity, along with raising your children righteously, is seeking knowledge and propagating that knowledge. And I ask Allah the Almighty to accept our good and forgive our evil, and bless us to be of those people who have ilm nafi'ah, wa rizqan tayyiban, wa amalan mutaqabbalan. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect and preserve the Muslim ummah wherever they are and wherever they're suffering. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.